Welcome to our first webinar of 2024-2025. We're excited to have Team Impact here, sharing what a unique experience can be possible for children facing illness or disability. In our case, specifically pediatric stroke or brain injury. And we know that children who have stroke may be affected throughout their lifespan. And there are implications of this in all realms of life. Just to remind you, this is educational content. We're not offering medical guidance. This is perhaps less critical for this topic, which is fun and educational than some of our topics that are more about treatment per se, but this is treatment out in the community, social emotional development, and fun. So where have we been and where we're going? We've been building this educational program from 2019 to the present for 6 years. We have more than 50 sessions that we've delivered, and some of our videos have been seen more than a couple thousand times. And we continue to network with collaborators around the country and around the world. I'll post these links in the chat as we get underway for you to look for and register for upcoming events. The events that are coming that we have scheduled are therapies to improve upper extremity function, applied technologies for neurorehab, learning to drive, mobility interventions using ride-on cars that some of our families have participated in locally, and then our annual in-person event, Play to Thrive, on the Boston waterfront. So you can find past events and contribute through these links. And again, I'll put them in the chat so that we can get started. I am going to stop share now. I'm super pleased to introduce Emma, who's going to take the lead for Team Impact, and then we'll have Hannah and Lesley also contributing. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Can everyone see my screen okay? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having Team Impact. My name is Emma Simches, and I am the Regional Director of Programs for the Northeast here at Team Impact. I'm so excited to share a little bit more about our program with you and highlight some of our current participants. Hannah's here from the BC softball team, and Lesley is here. Her son Roman is matched through our program. And I'm just excited to share more with you. So I'm going to share a brief overview of who we are and what we do. We'll have a couple videos in there, and we'll leave time at the end for questions. Just to give you a sense of my history, so I have been working at Team Impact for just about 5 years now. I am a certified child life specialist. I spent the first chunk of my time at Team Impact working as a case manager. So I was working directly with families and teams to help them navigate their program experience. About a little over a year ago, I moved into this role as Regional Director of Programs for the Northeast, where my main focus is engaging with our medical partners to share information about our program to reach as many families as we can in the Northeast that could benefit from being part of a team. On the other side, I work with our athletic contacts to reach as many teams as well. So to kick things off, we're going to start with a quick video, and then we'll go from there.
Anthony, today is your day. How excited are you about signing your national alert tag with Villanova football today?
Very excited.
Rockets on three! Rockets on three! 1, 2, 3! Rockets! Team Impact interviews. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Are you good, Anthony?
Yep. To my teammate.
To my teammate.
I'm not very fresh with it.
To my teammate. What are you most afraid of?
promise you they're not gonna hurt you.
Is it losing someone? The person you love the most.
That they might feel powerless
as they fight for their life.
That they might no longer be them after all this.
Can you face it?
The unimaginable.
in front of your eyes.
Life or death.
Everything.
Hanging in the balance.
'Cause I do. I do.
We do.
Every day.
And me?
Me? I thrive in the face of it.
I grow tall in the face of it.
I fight every day.
With a smile on my face.
With bravery in my heart. Because I know you have my back.
Because I have a team behind me.
Lifting me up every moment of my life.
This team, right here.
Because of all of you.
I know I'm never alone.
Because of you. I see myself, my life, differently.
I have a purpose.
I have a team.
My team needs me.
You give me the motivation,
The empathy.
The love.
to see myself as more than any label.
From a patient.
A parent.
An athlete.
A diagnosis.
To an agent of change.
A light in the room.
That right there, that is what keeps things going, Sam.
Because of you.
I have the strength to get back up when I fall. To always go one more step. Because you stand for something bigger than yourself.
Because you stand for me.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
When you do that,
You protect me. You champion me. You give me the freedom to live another day on this earth as me.
and there's no better feeling in the world than that.
So from the bottom of my heart,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
To my protector,
My champion.
My teammate.
Thank you.
I'm going to pause it on this smile so we can just keep that up the rest of the presentation. So I'm going to jump into our overview now. Team Impact is a national nonprofit organization that matches kids facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams. This is more than a one-time meet and greet. This is, we tailor the experience to every child and family's needs. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. And to give you a general picture of what this looks like, which you saw a little bit in the video, one child and family is matched with one college team for a 2-year therapeutic program. A common question we get asked is, what do these engagements look like? There's no off season. These relationships happen year round. During the season, it could involve attending a practice, a game, a team bonding event. Out of season, it could involve meeting up at a local ice cream shop or restaurant, a local activity, celebrating birthdays together. Our team works hard with teams and families to help them establish these relationships on and off the field to make sure all are getting as much as possible out of this match experience. Fun fact about Team Impact is that we are in all 50 states. So I mentioned that I'm the Northeast Regional Director of Programs, so I focus on New England and New York, but right where you see all the yellow stars are all our other regional hubs across the country. And I like to share that because if you, you live in another area of the country, if you know any other providers or families that could be interested in this opportunity, please spread this information far and wide. I'm happy to connect you with those staff that manage those regions as well. Since 2011, we've matched over 3,300 kids with college sports teams across the country. Now, our program was established in the Northeast, so the energy and awareness is very high and widespread in this area. That being said, we are making great leadway in other areas of the country, and the growth is expanding very quickly. So jumping into our eligibility criteria and the populations of kids that we serve, this really falls within 3 buckets. The first being age, we serve kids age 5 to 16. The second being the diagnosis with a serious illness or disability. We serve children with over 250 different medical diagnoses, and our goal is to serve as many kids as we can. Some of the diagnoses that we most commonly see are in this chart to the right, but that chart is not limited. It's just the most common ones. And then the third piece to our eligibility criteria is the psychosocial piece. So the common thread between kids in our program is that they are experiencing some sort of psychosocial gap or setback due to the medical journey that they're on. So at Team Impact, we understand the power of teams. Some of these kids, they might be missing out on school because of appointments. They might not be able to participate in their own extracurricular activities. They might have a harder time connecting with their peers. So us knowing the power of team, we utilize a team to fill that gap, to support kids in areas such as resilience, empowerment, socialization, and health promotion. So when a family signs up for our program, we ask the parent or guardian right up front, what do you hope your child gets out of this match experience? We want it to be fun, we want it to be joyful, but we also want them to get something out of it that they might be missing due to the medical journey that they're on. So for example, we have kids that after participating in our program, they walk into their appointments and they say, I can do this because I have a team behind me, or I want to do this for my team. We have teams that sometimes visit their match family while they're in the hospital, or they schedule visits before or after appointments, or send a video of encouragement to the family to help motivate the child. We have kids that walk into school repping their team gear, and they have the confidence to say, yeah, I'm a part of BU men's soccer, or yeah, I'm a part of Emerson Lacrosse, or whatever it might be. We have kids that sometimes their main source of socialization is their immediate family and medical providers due to the medical journey that they're on. So our aim is to expand that bubble, expand that circle, and provide a group of peers that they might not have had before. And we have kids working towards health promotion goals. We have some stories of kids and teams creating Spotify playlists together of music, their favorite songs, and that child bringing that playlist to their PT or OT, and maybe they walk further on that treadmill than they ever have before. So we really want the teams and families and kids to get something out of this experience. And that brings me to our clinical model. And we have at Team Impact a staff of certified child life specialists and social workers who understand the whole family experience of having a child with medical needs. And from when they sign up to when they end the 2 years of our program, we are there to assess the best fit team, make sure it's the right timing for their family to join the program, make sure they're getting as much as possible out of this match experience, to make sure they're feeling safe and supported throughout this entire relationship. And one thing I want to highlight too is we talk a lot about the children and families, but this is a mutually beneficial experience. So the support is also provided on the team side to make sure they're supporting the family in the best way, to make sure that they're feeling comfortable in this new environment that they might be in. So on the next slide, I have a short video that kind of highlights that mutually beneficial relationship, and you can see some more of our matches in action. And then I'll kind of go through our 3-step process of our clinical model.
Illness and disability with college sports teams. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams to create long-term, life-changing experiences for everyone involved. From signing day to graduation, these children participate in practices, attend games, share team meals, and join meetings. Student athletes also become a true part of the child's support team, visiting them at the hospital or school, attending birthday parties, and organizing get-togethers off the field.
1, 2, 3, family!
From the initial matchup process to ongoing case management, Team Impact's clinical staff ensures high-quality relationships between child and team, so that participating children's quality of life improves socially, emotionally, and physically. For student athletes, participation increases their awareness and empathy while building a new sense of resilience and camaraderie. By focusing on the best experience for the child, Team Impact significantly benefits parents, siblings, colleges, and their surrounding communities.
1, 2, 3.
All in, all together. Woo!
Team Impact. All in, all together.
So how do we get to that point of making this match? I'm going to walk you through the process. So the beauty of our program is that families can sign up on their own through our website for our program, or they can be referred to us by a medical provider. We aim to make this process as easy as possible on the medical referral and family sign-up side. We know, we don't want it to be an added thing to someone's plate. We want it to be a quick and easy process. So there's no preference on if a family signs up on their own or if they're referred, but immediately after one of those things is done, the family is immediately directed to schedule an intake call with our intake staff where we really learn in depth about the family. This will be about a 30 to 45-minute call. We'll ask questions about, where you're located, where your family is at in the treatment or prognosis, diagnosis. We'll learn about your family dynamic. We will talk about the age of your child. We will ask all these questions and really dig in deep to learn, what's going to be the best fit team for your family throughout our program. Eligibility is determined during this call. And then once a child is determined eligible for our program, we move on to the team selection and training process. So just as families can sign up on their own through our website for our program, teams can do that as well. They sign up for what we call our wait list. That being said, we do not just pull the first team from the wait list when a family signs up. There are a few things we take into consideration. The first being location. We aim to match a family as close to a campus as possible. We want it to be easy to get to. The second is the child's interests. We do ask what interest your child has in sports. That being said, we ask that families come in with an open mind because as you can imagine, if every family came in and said, we're interested in softball or we're interested in basketball or whatever it might be, there are a limited amount of teams in the area. We do say that while these relationships begin because of a sport, it is the relationships with the student athletes and coaches that have the true impact. We've had many matches that knew nothing about the sport they were matched with, and they leave those 2 years being the #1 fans of that sport. And it's some truly amazing learning opportunities for the whole entire family. So the third thing we take into consideration is the child's diagnosis and what their abilities are, what their sensitivities might be, what their limitations might be. For example, if a child is sensitive to cold temperatures, we would not match them with an ice hockey team inside. Or if a child utilizes a wheelchair, we would make sure if we're matching them with an outdoor team, it's accessible, there might be turf, so they can easily get across. So we really take into consideration these pieces. And once we deem a team is the best fit, we start a training process on the team side as well. We talk to the coaching staff. The coaching staff establishes a leadership team of 3 to 5 athletes to step up to take the lead with the relationship. They go through what we call a team training. They learn expectations for our program. They learn a little bit about this family. They ask any questions. We want to make sure we're setting up everyone for success. And then once all those steps are taken, the match is made official and the case management phase begins. Case managers are in touch with the team and family at least once every 2 months throughout the entire match. That being said, the team and family has their contact information throughout the entire time, so they can reach out if they need anything along the way. They help set those goals with families. They help suggest ways to stay engaged. They might troubleshoot any issues that come up with planning engagements together. The relationship really is between the team and family in terms of communication, but the case manager is that third party that is there along the way if any support is needed along the way. So I've mentioned a few times that we are a 2-year therapeutic program, and a common question I get asked is, what happens when that 2 years is up? Does this mean the team and family have to lose connection? The answer is no. The team and family do not have to lose connection. Team Impact just takes a step back from the relationship and allows the team and family to continue that relationship independently as they're comfortable moving forward. And we're seeing that a lot more these days of matches staying connected well past those 2 years. We just had a match that reached 10 years of friendship in the Northeast, and we're seeing that more and more in these beautiful relationships where teams add another Team Impact child to their match or to their team, and that other match family plays a role as a mentor for that new family, and really building this amazing community on these teams and on these campuses. Two things I just wanted to mention in terms of program access. We do work with Spanish and English speaking families at Team Impact. Not only do we have staff on our staff that speak fluent Spanish, but when we look for a team for these families, we look for at least 3 to 5 student athletes and our coaches that speak Spanish on those specific teams for these families. We also have a partnership with Lyft where we help provide rides to families who might need it to get to and from campus. One thing I wanted to mention too is at Team Impact, we're not only creating these relationships between a team and family, but we're also creating a relationship on the campus as a whole. It's a community relationship. So you join the team, you join the campus you're matched on, and then you join the entire Team Impact family. And in the Northeast, as I said, the energy and awareness is so high. We have lots of community events where we invite families to come together and get to know each other and hear each other's stories and talk about their Team Impact experiences. And that's something that it's a major goal of ours to be able to introduce the families to each other, not only to their specific teams, but to each other, to share about their journey through Team Impact. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Hannah. Hannah is an amazing leader, a Team Impact leader at Boston College, and she's going to share a little bit about her experiences.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah. I'm a senior on the softball team at Boston College. And this is my first year as a Team Impact Fellow. And as fellows, we not only share Team Impact's mission around our campus in the Northeast region, but we also do medical outreach like these webinars to get as many families and kids involved that we can. Team Impact is such an amazing organization, and the stories and transformations are really touching, and the matches are so valuable. So the pictures on this slide show the Team Impact Fellowship Summit. So we all get together throughout the summer, and hundreds of fellows throughout the whole country come together, and we do a training about how to be great ambassadors for the organization. And ultimately, our goal is to inform as many people as we can about the program in hopes of continuing the impact that Team Impact has. So personally, my experience with Team Impact, our team is centered around having a really good team culture, and I think that's been leveled up through our match. And I've seen on our campus, I think we have like 13 or 14 matches, which is awesome. But every team can attest to this at BC, but the hardships that the families and the kids have experienced has really shown every athlete here that you can be resilient no matter what. And it kind of puts our sport into perspective, and it gives us a greater reason why we're playing, and we're playing for our teammate that may be facing greater challenges than just what our sport is. So our match specifically, her family always brings such positive vibes, and they always have smiles on their faces, and they're so ecstatic to see us. And even when they have a lot going on in their lives, they come and they give us positive energy, which really turns a lot of girls' days around, even when they're having tough days as well. Something that's really special is whenever a girl on our team like hits a home run or throws a no-hitter or really anything good, our match's older sister makes us friendship bracelets with that accomplishment. So we all wear those on the field when we're away and they can't be at our games, and it just serves as a reminder of who we're playing for and our greater purpose and why. My favorite part about Team Impact is how all the matches on our campus come together multiple times a year. So we have a winter event, and then we have our big Team Impact Field Day in spring. So that's not only BC matches, but that's matches all across the region and specifically in Massachusetts. So we have a bunch of fun activities, and all the matches in the area come together and just enjoy each other's company and create a sense of community. And then I'll leave you with this. One of my most memorable moments with our match was when we honored her at a Team Impact awareness game. And we had each class, so freshmen started at home plate, sophomores at second. Each class was around the different bases, and we pushed her in her wheelchair around. and everyone in the stands was crying, and she had a standing ovation, and that was just really the cherry on top of the whole year. So that was, everybody was crying. That's just really how I could explain it. But that's really all I have. But that's really, like, all those experiences are just scratch the surface of what an amazing program and impact that Team Impact has had on us.
Hannah, what would you say to other teams or student athletes that are thinking about participating in Team Impact?
I think it's a no-brainer to just go for it. My team we were thinking about it. We joined the wait list and we were like pushing. We kept talking to our admin about trying to find us a match. And it's really the best thing that's happened to us, especially the girls on my team for the past few years.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I think it's really awesome for the group to hear the student athlete perspective. And then on the other side, hear the family perspective. So with that, Lesley, I'm going to pass it to you to share a little bit about Roman's experience with his team.
Hi, I am Lesley Carvalho, mom to Roman Carvalho, who is a 10-year-old perinatal stroke thriver. Just a bit about his medical history. I birthed Roman on June 16th, and day one of life, I was of course excited and grateful to have my newborn son. And quickly thereafter, on the night of his birth, the nurse recognized that his coloring wasn't quite right, and she, of course, encouraged me that he would be okay, and she would take him away for observation, and he never returned. So he ended up in the NICU. And sort of the days following, we realized, or through MRI imaging, that he had a stroke, and he had 2 blood clots on the outside of his brain. So he was having seizures at the same time, and had a NICU stay, and came home, and we were quickly referenced to the newborn development clinic and the stroke clinic at Mass General Hospital, and started on a rehabilitative journey with speech, OT, PT, swallow clinics, constraint therapy program to strengthen his weak side, his affected side, his right side. And as he's graduated from that program, and now at age 10, we're with significant math and language learning disabilities. So we are in tutoring and cognitive behavioral therapy to sort of help with his self-confidence, and as happy a human as he truly is. We reached a place in life where I knew he needed more. He needed support. He was feeling a lot of insecurity and self-doubt and sadness sort of associated with, why did this happen to me? And, why are things hard for me? And with right side weakness, some sports are just not as appealing to Roman, although he is extremely happy and, generally a happy soul. I think he sort of just backs away from different challenges, knowing that learning, which is happening for a good time of the year, that other things being challenging don't really, I guess, help in the sense of confidence. So I knew we needed some support, and I had reached out. I had talked with Mara Yale here on the call from her family experience, and was encouraged to apply for Team Impact. And Roman was matched with the Emerson men's lacrosse team, and really he himself didn't really know what the program was, or sort of the sport of lacrosse. But after meeting the team and spending time around the team, it's quite truthfully all Roman wants to do now. It's the impact in confidence and just facing challenge, whether he's having a hard day or things are difficult and hard for him. It's just this organic energy between Roman and the team where he's so encouraged, and it's a brotherhood. So for a team to be looking for Roman at any time where he has engagement with the team, it's such a confidence booster that I really truly believe can't be created in another environment. They've been so wonderful, so engaging with Roman. And I think his youthfulness brings a different energy to the team, which really you can really see the team players excited and really encouraging Roman anytime he's with the team at practice or games. One of the images is Roman's signing day, which was one of the most exciting and memorable moments that Roman's had with Team Impact. Feeling like a celebrity of sorts. And we had time with the team and a meal, and it was able to sign his contract. And at the end of the event, leaving the event, Roman had said to me, I want to go back and do it all over again. So the impact truly on Roman at every event is never lost on our family, on Roman. Just a space to be Roman, and a space that is removed from any therapies or tutoring or redirection with his behavior. I think it's just been a wonderful environment for Roman. He's developed definitely a unique sense of belonging, which that is a tremendous benefit of this program, is a sense of belonging with a team when at times navigating any health or any difference has been such a reward as part of this program. I think the program lends itself to organically helping children and families feel welcome, valued, and engaged. It's a break away from sort of their diagnosis or any medical hardships that families and children are navigating. I would highly recommend Team Impact to any other family. The program and the value that extends to the child and the family. It's definitely a family experience. We attend games together. We attended the BC Field Day together this past spring, which was an amazing experience, and building community and just enjoying a space where every child can be who they are and they're supported in that and encouraged. I think it's a unique experience that, aside from a clinical perspective, brings the greatest reward to a child and a family. And I will say, as a parent, I'm overwhelmed with emotion, sort of at every touch point, every engagement, the organic energy and the way that a team welcomes a child and truly encourage them and makes time for them, right? So it's not lost on me knowing that the demands on life of a student and of a parent and of a child navigating any illness or disability, it's so important to celebrate the time that we take to be together. And it's provided me the experience to step back and to observe my child in another way, from another lens, and to celebrate his rehabilitative progress. And it's Team Impact, I personally believe, is one of the only ways in which I've really been able to take a step back and observe my child and all of the work that he has committed himself to, met every challenge over the last 10 years. And I really am extremely grateful for the experience in our family.
Thank you, Lesley. Can you share a little bit more about these other pictures? I know you shared about signing day, but will you share the stories around the other ones?
Yes. So the picture on the left with the footwear in the background. So Roman, I had applied, there was a Dick's Sporting Goods shopping spree event, and Roman was one of 10 children chosen to participate, and it was a secret shopping event. He didn't know what the event was until we arrived at the store, and we were able to shop with a couple of the team members. This is Tommy and John from Emerson men's lacrosse, and Roman had a specific amount of money to spend and went through the store with the team members and just had a blast shopping and spending time together. And in another way, outside of the field. In the middle image is Roman at a practice just recently, excited to be there with the team there in the background. That's his team stick that Emerson Men's Lacrosse gifted him and has his name on it. So he definitely takes real pride in that. And the picture on the upper right corner, Roman with the team at an event, a film event that one of the graduates at Emerson College had put together a documentary film on the Emerson Men's Lacrosse team. And it was, they have their chicken sandwiches there, so happy eating their food. And this was an extension after the practice. So Roman had a few hours with the team and he was really excited. And he was part of the documentary film, which, again, to recreate that feeling of being part of a team, a sense of belonging, really uplifted by this brotherhood and this team. He was amazed to see himself on the screen. So that was really, really exciting. And the picture below is Roman on signing day with two of the team members.
Thank you so much, Lesley, for sharing your story. I think now is a great opportunity to actually open it up to some questions. I have a few more slides just to show a visual of our website and how families can sign up or be referred to us. But are there any questions about the program for me, about Lesley and her experience? I think Hannah had to hop off, and I'm happy to answer any questions on the team and student athlete side as well.
If anyone has questions about how to join or how to refer, I'm sure Emma's going to show Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine.
You need to unmute.
Oh, you're on mute. Let's see. Looks
Now?
like there you are.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for all this preparation that you have. My first language is Spanish, but I'm in the process of learning English. However, I want to say thank you for everything that was prepared. And I see in the map that you are not in Florida. We are in Florida, Tampa area, but we would love to participate.
Absolutely. So we are in Florida. We just don't have our regional hub of staff in Florida, but we absolutely make matches in Florida. So if you're interested in getting involved, I would highly recommend reaching out through our website, and then the staff that's based in that region will reach out to you so you can learn more.
Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. Of course. Any other questions? And also, if you go to our website, under the teams select or the team section, you can see what college and universities are involved right now in our program or historically, so you can get a sense of what's been going on. Part of my job is maintaining relationships we already have, but also building new ones. So if for some reason you don't see a college or university on there that's close to you, that it doesn't mean we don't work with them. It just means that we have to have that initial conversation to say, hey, like, this is our program, this is what we do. Are you interested in getting your teams involved? And I would say 98% of the time, those teams are more than willing to get involved.
Great, great. I would like to share the story of my kid.
Sure, go ahead. I would love to hear your story.
So last year, he was turning 8, and on the day of his birthday party, we was ready to learn how to do tag because his laser tag, his birthday was about to laser tag, and we just hear something to drop off, and we found here on the floor, and we call immediately 911, and we take him to the hospital, and after many MRIs and tests, they say it was a stroke. As a product of that, he lost mobility on his right part of his body. That happened last year. And today he's back in school. He's rocking PT. We just participate in one study trial in Houston for 2 weeks tops. I don't know if anybody in the audience hear about this program. It's really good. They stimulate the brain with electricity and then make 2 hours of occupational therapy, and he gained mobility on his thumb and in his index. It was awesome, and we are really blessed to be chosen, be part of this trial. And that's it. He's 9 years old, and we would love to participate.
I'm gonna send the link, or more, did you send the link to our website in here for family sign up?
Yeah, I put it in the chat a couple
Okay.
times.
Perfect.
Jasmine, just have a look. I also put links to all our past webinars. There may be some of the past ones or upcoming ones that have information that's useful to you and your family as you're navigating your journey.
Thank you. You know, this happened to him, and I still cried at nights. It's hard for everybody who is in our situation and see your kid just be from lost mobility, and it's still we're in the process of accommodating, but this will be a great opportunity for somebody to cheer him up.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm so glad to hear that he's back to school and doing well.
Me
It
too.
looked
And
like Amanda had a, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I put in the chat so you can sign up in English or in Spanish. We have both, so whatever you prefer, and I'll tell the staff in that region to keep a heads up for your application. Sorry about that, Amanda. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. So my daughter had a stroke Christmas Day in 21 and completely healthy, just dropped to the ground waiting for Christmas dinner. And she loves sports. And I'm in Idaho, so I'm assuming Boise State would be our connection. And we were just looking at beforehand that Boise State football team already has a connection. How many team connections can a team have?
So they will have, so each team is matched with one family for a 2-year program. So we want it to be an individualized experience for that child. So it would be they would have to get to the end of that 2 years, the team to be eligible for another match. Now we don't rush a team into another match. But like I said, we do have opportunities for other families to serve as mentors to that new family that comes along. But I'm sure there's other teams on that campus too that would be more than happy to get involved. Also, just want to note that we match children with same-gendered sports. So young boys will be matched with male teams, young girls will be matched with women's teams. And that's just kind of a part of our process and how it works.
Sure. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But if you signed up, Amanda, too, I can have them, I'm going to write down your names and I can have them keep an eye out for your application as well in that region.
Great. We will definitely be doing it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Emma, can you speak a little to sort of the sweet spot of ages? I know children are eligible if they're between 5 and 16, but wondering sort of what's ideal.
So there's not a clear-cut answer to this question. What I will tell you is that in our intake process, we really have in-depth conversations with families to make sure it's a good timing for your family and your child to participate in our program. So maybe sometimes we have children on the younger side where we will talk to the family and say, we do run till 18. We talk through the process and what it looks like. Do you think your child might benefit more from the program when they're a little older? And some families say yes. Some families say no. We think this will be impactful for our child right now. Some teens are really into our program. Some are not. So something that we've done is we actually include teenagers in our intake process to have conversations with them about our program to make sure it's something that they're interested in and want to participate in. So that's not a solid answer, but know that when you sign up, we will have those in-depth conversations with your family to assess the best timing for your family to participate in the program.
Great. I have another question, which is, how do you see yourself in the constellation of sort of social, emotional, mental health supports that are out in the world for youth these days? There's a huge shortage of classically delivered mental health services. And so I see you as filling a gap there. Can you speak to that?
I talked a little bit about our eligibility, and the psychosocial piece is a main piece to that eligibility. So we ask parents questions about what is your child experiencing because of their diagnosis? What do you feel like they are missing? And I feel like with our clinical team, with the certified child life specialists and social workers that we have the skill set to be able to fill that gap. You know that when you sign up for our program and you're referred to us, you can trust us because our team is able to support those areas heavily throughout the entire time you're in our program. So I would agree, Mara. I've been at Team Impact for 5 years now. It is something I'm truly passionate about. And I feel like it's something that every child would benefit from if it's like the best timing and best for that family in that period of time. Any other questions? Go ahead, Leslie.
I was just going to jump in and share. Roman he was matched at 9 years old, and it's sort of his change in behavior from a social and emotional perspective was the sign to me as a parent that he needed team impact and what team impact can provide to a child and in turn a family. He was feeling socially not as engaged and maybe a bit more withdrawn and a lot of self-doubt, which, and then he started developing a variety of tics. So it was child-led, which I think as a parent to be able to kind of observe the differences through rehabilitative care for Roman led us to searching and needing a program like this. And it was the time just presented itself. So I think it's really just a different way of thinking about it, of knowing when perhaps the time could be right for your child and family, is sort of just observing where they are in their recovery and just listening through language and just the social and emotional part of them as a child in recovery. And I think that's really what led us to knowing it was the right time for Roman and our family.
Thank you, Lesley. I'm curious, the others on the call, I know they're not on video, but where is everyone else located across the country? If you don't mind hopping off mute. Or you can write it in the chat too. I'm just curious.
I think a lot of the folks not on are part of the stroke team. So a lot
Okay.
of them.
That is totally fine. I'm just curious, but I wrote down Amanda and Jasmine. I wrote down your names and where you live, and I'm going, like I said, I'm going to reach out to the team to have them keep an eye out for your application to make sure they know that you were in this meeting and I met you and all that stuff. I think they'll be happy to meet you guys too.
Thanks. Did you want to share your final slides?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's see. So, can you see my screen? Awesome. Okay, so it's fairly easy. You go to teamimpact.org. On the left side, you'll see the family tab, underneath how to apply as a family. And then on the right side, you'll see how to make a referral as a medical provider. And like I said, we try to make these processes as quick as possible and easy as possible. But if you have any feedback on our intake forms, please let us know. We're constantly trying to update it to make sure all families are comfortable and it's easy enough for everyone to access. And that's all I have. And Mara, feel free to share my email with this group. I will send you again, I know you have it, but just our updated overview, resources, one-pagers, and you could forward it along to this group. And I also know that this is recorded, so feel free to send this to whoever. And I look forward to connecting with more of your families.
Thanks so much. I was going to ask Brian and Patty if she can come on just to say from sort of the clinical perspective, when and why are you referring families to Team Impact?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a number of folks, kiddos that have participated over the last couple of years. And honestly, I think the social emotional aspect has been huge. I think there's a lot of stuff that we see kids learning that really it's not a great other place outside of sometimes sport that our kids, as they get into middle school and older, it's sometimes really hard to participate, particularly in the mainstream sports. And we push adaptive sports, we push other avenues, but that teamwork, that camaraderie, that good sportsmanship, there's so many things that I see coming out that enhance so many other parts of their lives, right? Their ability to make friends, that kind of stuff that comes from the relationships and sort of the lessons learned in those spaces. That I don't know, there's a difference. I played sport all through college, and there's a difference in how you deal with your coaches deal with you than I think anywhere else. There's no give in terms of poor sportsmanship and that kind of stuff, and not being kind about those types of things. And so I think that there's been huge gains and really a lot of benefit that I see in the participation for these kids, outside of just the inclusion, right? I think there's real lessons being learned.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Brian. And
And I have to say there is a lot of programs that are short-lived also. Like there is something about 2 years of being taken under being part of something, having a responsibility to a group, having a group you belong to, and it's been coming up in the call like several times, identity, a sense of self that these kids would never get to experience otherwise, and a sense of self with an older peer. Okay, so these athletes are relatively young people. They're not the coaches are maybe more in the mature adult, but the athletes are young people. These are more in the peer, like sisterhood, brotherhood kind of environment. The responsibility that I have to show up to it. And this is one, like they are made responsible to be part of the team. They're not just visiting. It's not that they're going to get a t-shirt, and they have roles, they have functions with the team. They get activities that they're assigned to. I think there's something that kids with disability, because everybody's quote unquote concerned with safety sometimes, they're not allowed to even think about it or touch or experience it, when in reality they're totally fine to do it. And these are environments where they get to try things that otherwise, for other multiple reasons, may not be offered to them. And I think adaptive sports in general is an environment that is very well set to enable new experiences. And I always say there is no better way to heal the brain that has had brain injury, recover, rehab, habilitate, or learn, even if you did not have brain injury, than new, novel, multisensory, meaningful, socially engaging experiences. And I think a sports team impact, because of the way it's set up also, is not in an accidental match. As you were saying, Emma, the intake is a process. It's a process of finding what are the needs, what are the goals, and finding the best match for those kids. I think it's incredible to have a program like this. And when I learned, thanks to Mara and the parent advisory of the clinic, I was like, what? wait. And how do they do the intake? And where do they go? And then just hearing it from some of our patients that have been doing it, they just, like, usually in the clinic, they tend to listen to a lot of stuff that we talk with the parents, and they have less participation, like protagonist. But when we talk about how is this going, that's when they light up. And I can see and evaluate their speech, for example. Maybe they were mute for the rest of the visit, but now I have a kid that is talking about something that is their own. So I think that is priceless. And it also new, novel abilities that they might not have been able to experience, leaves them with this sense of possibility, that there is a lot more than they've been doing that they can still do. And that's incredibly helpful for self-esteem, and again, feeling more fulfilled as a whole being, as a whole human, not just as a sports person only. So those are my comments. I don't know, Mara, if you have heard me, or Brian, or anyone here in the call say anything else.
Well, I thought of something else, which is I feel that the model of Team Impact scales really well, because they have child life staff and social workers on Team Impact, on the core staff that's doing the intake and managing the relationships between the athletes and the families, and coaching the athletes and coaches on how to interface with the child to meet the goals of the family. And there are college athletes, hundreds or thousands of teams all around the country. And so in this world where it's really hard to find mental health providers, especially child-friendly, play-oriented mental health providers, I just think it's a beautiful model, because it leverages this abundance of college athletes who generally are positive, healthy, and want to interact with others. So it's a way to get out of like a scarcity place and use the abundance of all of these athletes, and what can they give back to their communities.
We also view continuity of care as extremely important at Team Impact. So some of our case managers actually work with some of these kids' providers, if appropriate, and if the family's comfortable with it, to overlap goals. And like you said, Mara, some of these student athletes and coaches have never engaged with a family or child with medical needs before. And we know that. And that's why we have our skilled team to not only provide that education at the beginning, but throughout the entire match. So that if things come up, if new things come up, if the child is hospitalized, if they can't be near the team, if, certain things about their personality changed or whatever it might be, the family can educate that to us and we can help teach the team and facilitate that process of them supporting the family in whatever way they need. So that's, I think, something we're committed to at Team Impact is we want this to be a safe and comfortable, supportive, therapeutic environment for both the family and team throughout the entire match. And our team will do anything in their power to make sure that that happens.
And then one other dimension where we on this team that runs pediatric stroke and brain injury education are also interested in doing research to understand what facilitates and what barriers exist to kids participating in adaptive sports and mainstream sports. And some of it is what in the community is truly accessible and inclusive. And by training the athletes to be inclusive, they may go on to be parents in the community who then think about being inclusive with youth sports. Or, there are other models that there's this blind spot where a lot of kids with illness and disability get marginalized. And I think just by making them more visible, there's this societal benefit. So I don't know if you measure that, but I think that's really important.
Well, yeah, I mean, our student athletes, we've had some that have shifted their career trajectory because of the experience they have at Team Impact, whether that's they decide to go the special education route, whether they're in med school and they decide to go down a certain route that coordinates with what they've experienced through their Team Impact experience. And we're seeing that more. And Hannah talked about our fellowship program. So we do track, we use surveys I believe on the family side, it's at the beginning, and then we have 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and just like participation of the program. And I can definitely follow up, Mara, with some of the data that we have, but we do that on the student athlete side as well. And we're seeing that more where this is impacting them not only in this time period, but in their whole lives. And it's been changing like just how they see the world and how they're leaders and how they advocate for disability in their community. Not only their small community, but across the country too. We have fellows all over the country. I think we have over 250 of them, and they not only support their area, but all areas across the country. And it's been amazing to really see that grow. And just our growth in general has been incredible. And I said we were established in this region, but just all over the country, the growth has been incredible to see. So I look forward to the next, 5 years and what it will bring for Team Impact, because I think it's going to be truly incredible things.
We do too, Emma. One thing about the changing lives aspect that you just covered here, we underestimate how much interacting with a kid that has a disability can teach you about life, about how resiliency, about troubleshooting, about a philosophy that is not a complaint. Mara, you just touched on this in the plenty, okay, and the using we don't know that we have a lot of possibilities at hand because we don't even have the right attitudes, the right approach to life. And these kids have something really right on them, even when they're struggling with behavioral, with motor, with visual. They have to navigate life with challenge, and they do it in a childish way, but childish in the right sense, with joy, with the initiative, with the sense of discovery, newness. And it's something that to me, that's what is the most feeling of a clinic that we have, is that I get to learn from them. And I imagine your athletes are also like, there's so much in their own life that when they get to interact and see these kids, they can learn for themselves.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to send to Mara, I'm going to send you a video from our fellowship summit of our fellows like Hannah talking about more about their experiences, because we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but when you hear it from them themselves, it's like you understand the impact that these relationships are having. And I don't think a lot of families know that. They come into this thinking, this is going to be an opportunity for them, and they come out of it and I'm like, do you understand, like, you're teaching all these different things to the team that they've never seen before, and they're leaving this experience as someone bigger and understanding more. And that's why, just as much as we want to assess the best fit for the family side of this match, we also do that on the team side as well in terms of timing and making sure that, this is going to be the best fit for their team. So we value both of those sides, and we want to make this an impactful experience for student athletes, families, and kids throughout the entire experience.
But do you have any, you guys have been going on for a while
Since
now.
2011.
Yeah. Has there been any like alumni from the college side, from the student athlete side that have gone on to continue working in the space that you guys know of or anything along those lines?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So I do know those stories, like a couple of our kids gone to med school, have decided to go to med school or switch to special education. Some of them are still involved in the Team Impact community through our Young Professionals initiative. And that happens typically like after they graduate, they've come back and they want to fundraise. Some kids have ran the Boston Marathon, the Chicago Marathon, New York Marathon. They've come back to say we want to fundraise for Team Impact now. So we have these ways to keep alumni involved in our program, and we're seeing that more and more. A lot of our runners are alumni of our program. We do have people that are just in the community, they're interested in running for a cause, but a lot of them are connected to the cause through their matches or through a family member that's matched or something like that, which is really special. And the YoPro initiative in the Boston area is awesome because they host like at least 5 events a year. We have a sneaker ball coming up where it's like dress attire and sneakers, and they go and they fundraise and they meet some of the families. They have an event at Cisco. They have a golf tournament. So they do a lot of fun things together to stay engaged in the community. And a lot of the time too, they leave, they graduate, and they're like, how can I stay involved? What can I do? Not only are they staying connected with their families, but they're doing some of these things to support Team Impact as well.
And I've also seen that there are communities of the families who stay in touch with each other to figure out how best to interface to their respective teams. Like, oh, I did this, you might want to try this, or
we have a Facebook
this
group.
off season feels a little slow. How do I get more connected to the team? So there's a lot of knowledge sharing on the family side as well.
Yeah, the Facebook page is a great spot for that. We see conversations with families all over the country of like, oh, we need an idea for the holidays. What should we do to stay connected? Or we're struggling in this area with the team. Like, what do you suggest that we do? And we see these conversations happening, which is really awesome to watch them engage with each other. We also have a program called the MVP program, Making Victories Possible. It's a group of parents that have either participated in Team Impact or are current or alumni of the program, and they're interested in spreading information about Team Impact in their communities. And the group that we have in the Northeast, it's like, I think about 15 of them. They've become really close with each other that they are now friends outside of Team Impact. I just got a picture of a Friendsgiving where 3 of our families were together, and they were having such a good time celebrating. And it's just moments like that, which are great. And like I said, it's a priority for us to bring families together. So we will continue to do that across the country to make sure everyone gets that individual team experience and then the community Team Impact experience as well.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Emma and Lesley and everyone else for being here. And I'm gonna wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And we'll be back here actually in just 2 weeks. Our next topic is about selecting therapies to improve upper extremity function. So we're looking forward to that with Todd Levy of Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and also Michelle Belashotis, who's come before and has both lived experience as well as is an OT herself now. She'll be talking about her childhood. So hope to see you in 2 weeks, and we'll post this recording when we're done, and I'll send a survey as well. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.